Being in debt post-college is not something to look forward to. How you can better prepare yourself for paying off loans.
Plus, we update you on how to spot and help a friend with an Adderall addiction.
And Becca Dimmick brings you this week's entertainment news.
Studio G starts right now.
Peace may finally be replacing riots in the streets of Baltimore. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Alyssa Stein.
And I'm Clarissa Levitt. President Barack Obama spoke publicly to the nation and condemned the violent outbreaks in Baltimore.
The violence that happened yesterday distracted from the fact that you had seen multiple days of peaceful protests that were focused on entirely legitimate concerns of these communities in Baltimore.
Not only did he condemn the actions, the president stated that these protest movements were instead counterproductive to the efforts of the protesters.
It is counterproductive. When individuals get crowbars and start prying open doors to loot, they're not protesting. They're not making a statement. They're stealing. When they burn down a building, they're committing arson.
Although the family members of the 25-year-old victim, Freddie Gray, are angry about what happened, his family has stated that riots are not the answer. However, as for the root of the problem, President Obama said the following.
But if we really want to solve the problem, if our society really wanted to solve the problem, we could. It's just it would require everybody saying this is important, this is significant. And that we don't just pay attention to these communities when a CVS burns. And we don't just pay attention when a young man gets shot or has his spine snapped. But we're paying attention all the time because we consider those kids our kids and we think they're important and they shouldn't be living in poverty and violence.
Since Monday at 10 p.m., curfew has been implemented for Baltimore, and 2,000 National Guardsmen and 1,000 policemen from Maryland and neighboring states have joined crews already on the streets.
And unfortunately for Orioles fans, tonight's game against the White Sox will be closed to the public. This is the first Major League game in Orioles history to be played before an empty stadium. Fight night is 3 days away. Hotels are sold out. Venues hosting fight parties are expected to be at full capacity, and anticipation for one of boxing's greatest matchups is growing rapidly, as both Floyd Money Mayweather and Manny Maypac Pacquiao have officially arrived in Vegas. Mayweather greeted fans with a marching band at the MGM Grand Hotel yesterday, while Pacquiao held a less extravagant fan rally at the Mandalay Bay. The two fan events were the only events of this fight that were free to the public. Friday's weigh-in will cost you $10, and as far as Saturday's fight goes, police suggest that if you don't have a ticket, you're better off not on the Strip.
Last week, we brought you a story on the effects of Adderall, but what do you do if you spot a friend abusing the drug? Reporter Ashley Maslow has more.
Symptoms of Adderall use include nervousness, restlessness, uncontrollable shaking, headache, difficulty sleeping or staying asleep, nausea, stomach pain, dry mouth, weight loss, and loss of appetite.
So if they're addicted to it, they need to come in to CAPS or to their doctor, their primary care physician, and then get a referral to a treatment center to help them get off the medication.
CAPS is the Counseling and Psychological Services Unit here at UNLV. It's inside the Student Wellness Center, and it's free to students. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. People were previously diagnosed with ADD, But this doesn't necessarily mean you have ADHD.
ADD is actually an older diagnostic criteria that we used in the past. Now it's ADHD, and it has different modifiers based on if a person has poor attention, or they have hyperactive impulsive type, or combination type.
But there are steps that need to be taken to be diagnosed with ADHD.
So if people think they have ADHD, and they should come in for an evaluation, we can get them directed to the right people to do the neuropsychological testing, and then we can determine if they really have ADHD.
But even if you are diagnosed with ADHD, medicine is not the only answer.
Because there's a lot of behavioral techniques that people need to be aware of who have ADHD. It's just not about taking a medicine. There's a whole bunch of different things that they need to be aware of to really help with their performance, and they can have a great career even if they have ADHD.
Now don't forget, popping a pill isn't going to solve your problems. It could actually make them worse. For Studio G, I'm Asley Maslow.
For more information on CAPS, visit their website at unlv.edu/srwc/CAPS. Coming up after the break, reporter Nicole Reynolds sits down with the founder of Squad Bay to talk about their upcoming endeavors.
Motor enthusiasts, get ready. Off-roading is coming back to town.
And Las Vegas gets a colorful taste of India. Studio G will be right back.
I used to have to do things, bad things, just to get by.
I was scared to come home sometimes. The gang knew where I lived.
Mommy said she couldn't afford it, but I want to be a singer when I grow up. I like singing.
I'm not afraid anymore. My life has changed.
My dreams are coming true!
I realize now that my world is so much bigger.
My show is called Window on the Middle East, and it deals with all the issues that deal with the Middle East. Middle East is a very important part of the world. I grew up in America, and yet I'm from the Middle East. It's a commoner's viewpoint based on experience as well as scholarship. My name is Shervin Mushuri. I'm the host of the talk show Window on the Middle East at the rebelhd2.com.
A well-kept secret here in Las Vegas, the Financial Guidance Center provides free financial counseling, and UNLV students can better prepare themselves for those after graduation payments on school loans. UNLV students stress all year long and search for new scholarships, but sometimes the college education comes with a high price. And loans are the only option. Michelle Johnson at the Las Vegas Financial Guidance Center says students need to start saving money as soon as possible because graduation comes quickly and the interest keeps piling on.
It seems so easy to sign your name, and 6 months after graduation is so far away that it doesn't even seem like it's real.
Johnson shares some advice with students and warns against what to do and what not to do with their loan money.
I don't recommend anybody buy their food on borrowed money, whether it's a student loan or a credit card. You don't take care of your basic life's needs on borrowed money.
Liberal arts student Ruby Nava has been accruing her debt at UNLV for a year now and fears for graduation. Sharing this fear with many other UNLV students, Nava knows 6 months after graduation is going to be a stressful start to her future.
Right now it's like $6,550. So I've been making monthly payments, at least $20, $30 every month. So it's honestly it's just paying the interest pretty much.
Lucky for this student and many others, the Financial Guidance Center here in Las Vegas provides free resources, including creating a budget plan and a saving plan for anyone who wants help. Just visit the center on 2650 South Jones Boulevard or call their office to make an appointment at 702-364-0344. Penn National Gaming, who operates the M Resort in Henderson, has officially confirmed that it will be buying the Tropicana Hotel for $360 million. Penn's main goal is to expand their database of approximately 3 million regional customers to the Strip market. The plan is expected to be carried out over the course of the next 3 to 5 years.
You may see more people in denim today than normal in an effort to raise awareness of sexual assault. Denim Day began in 1999 after the Italian High Court overturned the conviction ruling of a rape case on the grounds that the victim jeans were too tight, therefore meaning the victim must have willingly participated. Women in the Italian legislature protested the decision by wearing jeans. The Jean NYE Ditch Women's Center at UNLV, as well as UNLV President Len Jessup, are encouraging staff and students to wear denim today to protest the stigma of sexual assault. For all you motocross enthusiasts, Prim, Nevada hosted one round of the World Off-Roading Championship Series and is preparing to host another in the future. Reporter Chelsea Bengal has more.
I've always been riding quads and dirt bikes my whole life, and I went to a race with my neighbor and I fell in love with it, so I started doing it.
Riders all over the nation are gathering together to race and showcase their skills at the Works Racing Series. President and CEO of Works, Sean Reddish, shares what makes this racing series so unique.
Works is a national formatted motorcycle, ATV, and side-by-side racing program. We do 9 races on the West Coast. We have 10 races on the East Coast. It's a family-oriented sport. You come out here, you camp for the weekend. It's Grand Prix format racing, which means it's short course. We do about anywhere from 4 to 7 mile long courses.
Currently, Works has completed 5 rounds of their series and has 4 rounds left, with the last round circling back to Prim, Nevada.
What they're doing is they're accumulating points for a national championship. So at the end of the year, in October, at this location, when we finish the year, we will have our national awards banquet over at Prim Valley. We'll have about 850 people attend that banquet, and we'll give out the national championship plaques, awards, and prizes.
Since we're in Vegas, the Works Series is called World Off-Road Championship Series, and it's more of a West Coast type series. So this year's schedule is really nice. So we tend to do this series. It's more fun. It's called Grand Prix, so it has a mixture of motocross and off-road.
Off-roading programs such as Works gives riders the opportunity to compete on different courses in multiple states.
Well, I got to go to Washington, which was cool because I've never been there before, and Idaho as well. So I did a lot of traveling and accomplished two championships that year.
With competing, participants know firsthand of all the troubles that can come with riding, such as equipment failure.
Fortunately, with racing, there are mechanical failures that you can't expect to happen. Today, I had one myself. I went out and did one loop of practice, and I just kept looking at it, and it just kept spilling coolant out. So yeah, I mean, my weekend's pretty much done unless I can find spare parts and get it fixed up.
Off-road racing tends, like Works or any other off-road format, tends to be more family-oriented, kind of a little less cutthroat if you would think of like motocross. But like any stick and ball sport, you know, it has its advantages and disadvantages, but everybody's story is different. But the coolest thing about traveling with like the Works Series is the stories that you build with your family from going to the races, more so than even at the races.
For Studio T, I'm Chelsea Bengal.
For more information on how you can join the next round of the series, visit worcsracing.com.
A lot of alternative music, we play post-punk, a lot of stuff coming out from unsigned or newly signed bands. I like to play an hour of music, and then after the first hour we talk a ton about latest music news in the second hour. A lot of rock and roll going on the show. I'm Kylie O'Rourke, and you can listen to Spinning Indie on rebelht2.com.
Welcome back from the break. I'm Nicole Reynolds, and sitting down with me today is Lulo Bello, the president of Squad Bay. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate another chance to come down here.
Speaking of another chance, you were here about a year ago. Can you, just for
sake, can you let us know what Squad Bay is?
Sure. Squad Bay deploys United States military veterans alongside of media and civil affairs professionals to provide humanitarian aid and social leverage to communities in crisis and civil unrest.
So the last time we spoke to you, you were sending folks out to Guatemala. Where is your next endeavor?
Well, coming up here in the next couple weeks, we can't release it obviously for security reasons. We'll be heading to Kurdistan, which is the northern region of Iraq, and where a lot of the victims of ISIS have accumulated and are living currently.
Now this ISIS seems like something that would be really close to the hearts of former troops. Was that the sole reason for picking that place, or were there other reasons why that one was the, of all the places that have been affected by that, was there a specific reason why that was the place?
There was a specific reason. Back in November, we first talked about deploying to Iraq in order to provide some humanitarian aid and some leadership. The first 24 hours, we had over 200 veterans sign up. So we realized that there was a strong desire from the veteran community to continue serving, and especially to continue serving in an area that they all fought for, in an area that they feel as though their friends died defending. And they're very upset to see everything fall apart so quickly.
So speaking of vets and going back to places that they may have been to, I know PTSD is a really big deal. What is that like going back to a place like that?
Mm-hmm. Well, our organization deals with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as moral injury. In both cases, I believe that the veteran is looking for a way to continue being part of something bigger than themselves. It's not just about nightmares and not sleeping at night. It's about feeling as though you're doing something akin to being an astronaut. And then when you come home, you're living such an ordinary life that there's a part of you that's missing. And I think a lot of the times the news media has been getting the headline wrong. And the headlines have typically been reading, veterans can't get enough of the battlefield, so they are traveling back in hordes in order to get another piece of the action, when that couldn't be any further from the truth. I don't think any veteran wishes that the ISIS situation developed the way it is, and I really think what we're seeing here is that veterans are again stepping up to the plate and taking that leadership role and saying that if our country isn't going to do what's right in this situation, then we will. And even better yet, we don't have to deal with the politics of a country. We can choose as sovereign individuals to step up to the plate and do the little bit that we can in order to affect some change.
So about how many veterans are going with you on this trip?
This trip we're going to have about a squad, so anywhere between 8 to 13.
And you're a former veteran yourself, right?
Yep, I'm a veteran, a United States Marine Corps vet. I actually served right out of Las Vegas with Fox Company, 2nd Battalion, 23rd Marines, the Sinners and the Saints.
And were you in Iraq for that?
Mm-hmm.
So is this going back? This is going back to a place where you originally were.
Yeah, this is going back for me as well. I was in Iraq in 2003 for the initial invasion, and we worked very close to where we're going over in northern Iraq, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited that in the first instance, we went there without the express wishes of the Iraqi people. It made the veterans that served in the war have something to think about. However, this time around, the people that are deploying with Squad Bay, we have been invited down by the Kurdish regional government, and there's something to be said about that. It feels very, very heartwarming to know that in this second go, they're asking, please come, please help.
So how do you prepare for something like this?
Well, the beauty of preparing for a trip like this is that it gives the veterans an opportunity to employ a lot of the same skills that they utilized while they were in the military. You have to research the area you're going to, you have to make local ground contacts, you have to understand the culture, you have to make sure that your gear is prepped and ready to go and that you understand the security risk, which is why, again, veterans make such a great group of people to engage in civil affairs and to engage in international media relations, because we have such great experience operating in hostile and austere conditions and still getting the job done.
So for those who aren't able to actually go out with you guys, is there another way that they could help?
Yeah, they can log on to squadbay.org. They can like our Facebook page at /squadbay, and they can either help out with funding the trips, providing airline tickets. They can help out with supplies that are needed. And we take everyone. You don't have to be a veteran. So especially if you're a civil affairs or media expert, a journalist, an intern in college, please apply to come on a deployment with us. We need all the help we can get. It's not just about veterans. It's about bridging this gap between veterans, civilians, and while we're doing that, making the world a better place.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. Best wishes to you and the troops out there, and thank you so much for serving.
I appreciate it, and I also wanted to thank another local group called American Heritage, run by Vincent Bonifato. They're one of our sponsors, and without them, none of this would have been possible. So,
awesome.
Really appreciate it, Vinny. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Alyssa, back to you.
Thanks, Nicole. Las Vegas is also looking to honor veterans with the building of a monument near Cashman Field Center in the Grant Sawyer State Office Building. The monument will have 18 statues in addition to a wall which individuals and family members can purchase a brick for. The groundbreaking ceremony is expected to be held in November around Veterans Day.
Show is La Alternativa. It's the alternative in Spanish. It's mainly a music show. We play Latin alternative music from all over Latin America, Mexico, Chile, sometimes Spain. Sometimes we talk about news stories that we feel aren't being covered in like mainstream media, specifically Latin stories. It could be anything like protest, social activism, anything we find interesting, pretty much. I want them to discover new music. I don't think that many people in the U.S. know about Latin alternative music. It's very similar to alternative music here in the U.S., but in Spanish, and it talks about issues going on over there. And also kind of see what's going on in Latin America. There's a lot of, I think, activism that's kind of missing in the U.S. a little bit.
My name is Bruce Gill. I'm the host of La Alternativa. Check it out at therebelhd2.com.
Back from the break. The Festival of Colors came back to Las Vegas this past weekend, and reporter Sherelle Moore got the chance to attend. Take a look.
3, 2, 1,
The Festival of Colors was held this past weekend at Sunset Park.
Festival of Colors originated in Holi, India. Basically, when you throw colors, it's symbolizing you're letting go, you're throwing everything that you no longer need for yourself. And with that, everyone's doing it together, releasing, and you make new friends and you make new.
We just love that the fact that it comes and brings people together and everybody's here having an amazing time.
So I heard about the festival a couple days ago, just walking by, and I did my research. And from what I understand of it, it's the celebration of spring.
It's about higher consciousness, it's about coming together, it's about learning to love people that aren't just like you and to appreciate them. And it's about transforming and purifying consciousness.
This is only one of many color-themed events. Attendees of the festival celebrated the start of spring and a new beginning.
Well, some of the things you can go at the festival, we always have a yoga stage going on. We have tons of dancing available with all the music. You can get a henna tattoo. It's like the new year. You want to start off doing something fun, happy with all these people. The music, the food, everything about it I just love.
I like you get to throw stuff.
This exuberant event is filled with high energy and good vibes. It's all about spreading love to your fellow man.
That's all it's about. Love and having fun.
Love and peace.
I think it's a really great thing for everybody to come together, and it's a peaceful event. And, you know, everybody's coming together, like-minded people, and I think it's a really cool thing that they do. I hope that they continue.
There's a color festival every year. This event travels from city to city. For Studio G, I'm Sherelle Moore.
For more more information about the Festival of Colors or to find a festival near you, visit festivalofcolorsusa.com. And now to Becca for this week's entertainment news.
Hey everyone, I'm Becca Dimmick with your midweek entertainment recap. So it looks like Bud Light is facing some heat from fans and critics alike for their new marketing campaign. The company issued an apology yesterday for their marketing slogan, "Up for Whatever." Recently, their bottles have been labeled with the phrase, "The perfect beer for removing no from your vocabulary for the night. #UpForWhatever." People have interpreted this as an endorsement for rape and unwanted sexual advances. They lived up to the slogan, though, by showing they really are up for whatever, even if it is a national public apology. And moving on, Bruce Jenner has been making headlines this week. Bruce's interview last Friday on ABC with Diane Sawyer about transitioning into a woman had over 17 million viewers, according to Nielsen ratings. And according to their preliminary figures, it was the most watched Friday program besides sports since 2003. Bruce will be having a reality show on the E! Entertainment Network documenting his transition, set to air this July. Reports have come out this week that Bobby Brown is seeking guardianship of daughter Bobby Christina Brown's $20 million estate. Bobby Christina Brown remains unresponsive after being found in a bathtub in January. She's the sole heir to mother Whitney Houston's $20 million trust, and her father does not currently have guardianship over her funds, but he is making all the medical decisions. The details of Bobby Christina's exact medical state are still unclear due to conflicting reports from her family members. And speaking of conflicting ideas, more and more celebrities are joining the online dating app Tinder. This week, actress Hilary Duff has come out saying she's been using the app and finds it wildly addicting. And as of yesterday, she went on her first date with one of her matches. Hilary isn't the only celebrity trying their luck on Tinder. Other stars such as Leonardo DiCaprio, Katy Perry, Jamie Kennedy, and Lindsay Lohan have also used the app. And it looks like rapper Lil Wayne is having a rough time too. The rapper's tour bus was shot at early Sunday morning while he was traveling on the highway in an Atlanta area. Wayne was not on the bus at the time, but no one was hurt. Police currently have no suspects. And lastly, the first official photo of Jared Leto as the Joker for the upcoming DC pick, Suicide Squad, was released this week. The film is about imprisoned supervillains being hired by the government to do black ops missions in exchange for clemency. And it's expected to hit theaters next summer.
My brother is the biggest Jared Leto fan ever. He is going to die when he finds out that he's going to be in the movie.
I saw all of a cast picture. I'm really excited for the film. Will Smith's going to be in it, and Cara Delevingne, and Scott Eastwood. He's super cute.
I had no idea Will Smith was going to be in it.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
It's all about supervillains. It's going to be really cool.
Oh, it's going to be really good.
That sounds nice. That's all for this edition of Studio G. I'm Clarissa Levitt.
I'm Becca Dimmick.
And I'm Alyssa Stein. Have a great day, Las Vegas.